Welcome to Beerfield, where somehow everything graphically is screwed up. I am your host at Beerfield Hop, Chris Hopper. As always, joined by at Ryan Miner _FFP at Beerfield3. Gentlemen, how are you?
Doing good. My son's one game away. After this, we have the playoffs starting for him, so he's all excited about that. So life is going good. Football season still carries on.
Very nice. Dan? You there? Did we lose you again? Did you mute yourself? I bet he muted himself.
I did not.
Oh.
Nope.
No.
Wait.
You're here.
I'm here now. God damn. Look at this. Look at us. No, I'm doing good. Casey's been a blast. I almost went to the game. I had StubHub open for like 2 hours, 4 hours trying to get.
Who just scored? I mean, Kansas
Good deals.
City, but was
Tony scored. That was Tony.
Hey, look at that. He's doing
2 receiving yards now.
And a touchdown.
And a
2
tutty.
reception, 8 yards. Yep.
And a tutty.
All right. Normal Thursday night football check-in because we do record on Thursday nights. It is about to be damn ball. 10-0 Chiefs. Chiefs against the Broncos, so we won't be talking about that tonight. We'll be talking about the rest of the week 5 games, or week 6 games, sorry. The upcoming trade deadline, any trades we might have had in leagues to discuss as normal, and then quick preview of the upcoming week. Before we do that, we're drinking beer. Beer.
What's fueling Beerfield?
Okay, Ryan. What IPA are you drinking?
How did you know?
98% chance.
I am drinking Drafting Tables Brewing Company's Resolute India Pale Ale.
Nice.
It's got some pretty neat. I can get. Oh no. Yep,
There
I
you
can do
go.
it like that. Like can
It's
art
a
like
really
that.
big hop.
Yeah, it's a 16-ounce can. So
I'm now the second biggest hop on this screen.
there you go. And it says, "Enjoy fresh from a glass. Keep cold. Do not age." So I have it in a glass.
Ooh.
Good call.
It gave me the
Fancy.
instructions. It gave me the instructions, so I could not screw it up tonight.
Even told you what to do.
Yeah.
This fucker needs some.
Dan, what are you drinking tonight?
I was doing a tasting before this at a local liquor store here, and I stopped by a brewery called BTS Artisans Ale. I didn't check to see what the BTS stands for, but they're more of your modern style. And I grabbed their English mild because I really wasn't feeling the 6,000 IPAs they had on draft. So the English mild was fantastic. So I wanted to grab their European style pilsner. I flipped the can to show you guys the picture, and of course, I don't have any fucking camera. But yeah. But wait. Oh, I had a camera. Sorry, but no. Yeah, so I'm drinking BTS Artisan Ales out of Kansas City, Missouri. Their European style pilsner.
Nice. And Capro, how about you?
I am drinking from Stubborn German Brewing Company in Waterloo, Illinois. I went to the cellar for this. This is from their Black Beer Friday stuff last year. So they released a bunch of barrel aged and black beers and put all black beers on every tap they have on Black Friday. This is their chocolate vanilla bourbon stout. So this is aged in bourbon barrels. About a year, freshly dumped. Don't know what kind. Didn't ask, but vanilla beans and cocoa nibs in this one along with the bourbon barrel. So review about halfway through. This has been cellared for, it's been in my hands since January. So I've had it for about 9 months.
Nice. Very nice.
Yep. And stouts you can do that with. More on that about halfway through the episode. Let's go ahead and get into the news.
News.
All right, starting off, Chase Claypool traded from the Bears to the Dolphins for a swap of late round draft picks. I believe that's Bears get 6, Dolphins get their 7th. So, cutting their losses after that first rounder last year, Claypool never worked out for them. Same things that cropped up in Pittsburgh, cropped up in Chicago, and we'll see what happens in Miami.
Okay,
that's how much we care.
I think someone put on Twitter that Hill said that he moved like a school bus.
I saw a vending machine.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, vending machine. I'm like, Jesus.
So I'm compared to a vending machine. Did you see? Speaking of the Dolphins, did you?
Oh, dude, yes.
Mike White, Mike McDaniel's.
Yes.
McDaniel's comments on Mike White.
I mean, those comments and then his comments on the 5-game or his 5-game streak. Oh, that dude's a national treasure. We got to protect him.
We got to protect him at all costs. Yeah, that was our whole goal this year was statistical output through 5 games, and the whole I could have Mike White out there returning punts in practice. And Mike White,
he was like,
ouch.
We're
like, even McDaniel knows he's unathletic as hell.
Oh
man, I love him. He's the greatest.
He is.
He really is. I want that to never end. Tank Dell not practicing due to a concussion. Okay. Probably.
He's probably out this week.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Bobby Trees, I guess. Or maybe more Mechie if we're lucky, but probably not. Amon-Ra St. Brown, full participant. This is like the Lions section of this, by the way. Amon-Ra St. Brown, full participant. Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta not practicing. So, Dave Montgomery will look at RB1 duties again this week, which you're totally fine with because he's been really good. Sam Laporta, though, you are losing one of the must-start tight ends in the league right now. So,
and there's not a lot of them.
He doesn't play. No, there's not. Now, if you caught it soon enough, Dolchich was activated from IR, so that kind of helps, but they're playing right now. So, you're not getting that from this show. We'll have another option for you here later. Sean Watson not practicing on Thursday despite being medically cleared, allegedly. So what's up with this? Like, what's the injury here? Because apparently MRIs show no structural damage, and he's medically cleared, but he's not, per at least 2 reports that I saw, but he's not practicing. Hey, there you are.
Hey, Dan.
Hey.
I mean, it's real choppy because you're on hotel Wi-Fi, but there you are.
I'm here. Oh, yeah, it's super choppy.
Oh, yeah. That's okay.
Or I'd just turn it back off.
I'm going to turn it off.
It's good to see you for a second.
You know, you got to give the people what they want.
That's right. Which is, so, have you guys heard, like, what's up with this Watson stuff?
I think he is hurt. I also think he just doesn't want to play there. Like the fan base, outside of like the real creepy men and like older women just haven't embraced him.
No,
shocking.
They haven't. He hasn't played all that well. I don't think the offensive style is a good fit, but he's locked in there for $230 million, and I don't think anybody's biting on a trade for that.
I think we finally have a trade worse than the Herschel Walker trade in NFL history. There is nothing ever made sense in this deal. And then the amount of picks they gave, the guaranteed money.
Yeah.
None of it.
As I said, they doubled down on it with guaranteed money.
Like, in fully guaranteed. It's just everything about that deal. And you know what? Fuck them. Good.
That's what they get. Trying to do that. And what's going to happen here is it's going to be cheaper to fire Stefanski and try to at least fix the infrastructure that way. Because guess what, Browns fans? You're stuck with Deshaun for 3 more years.
At $52 million a year.
Yeah. Yep.
And as soon as everyone is washed away from this situation, including Haslam himself, I will always say, fuck you, Cleveland. That dirty, grimy fuck.
The dead cap on this deal is freaking insane where they'd cut him.
Mm-hmm. It's hilariously insane.
That team is like that's the greatest. Like, that's worse. and then Cleveland leading, then Art Modell selling to Baltimore, and Baltimore winning a Super Bowl 4 years later.
Right.
It's worse. Fuck them.
It's worse than that Claypool for a first trade.
Oh my god,
By a lot.
And pick 32 being Joey Porter, who's having a pretty great start to his Pittsburgh career.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hell of a trade for the Steelers on that one, because it was between them and Green Bay, and they're like, well, the Bears suck, so we'll just take theirs because we know there's going to be the top of the second round, not the back or the middle of the back end.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, Mahomes is a flag, though.
Indeed. All right.
Do you think maybe the Chiefs will trade for Judy? They need a receiver.
At halftime?
Well, I was thinking that, but I don't think.
Could have run it in Swiss jerseys at halftime.
I don't think.
We'll take you.
Denver will trade him in division, but
you know what? I really hate.
We're gonna talk about
that whole idea now. I really hate like people thinking that trading within your division is like the worst fucking thing in the world.
It's a baseball mindset. We'll talk about this all in a minute, though. I got trade deadline as the meat of this episode, so hold your thoughts there.
Hold your thoughts.
Don't lose them.
I won't.
Miles Sanders sidelined with a shoulder issue. Saquon Barkley practicing, trending towards playing. So talk about Sanders for just a second. So for Miles Sanders, not a great start to his season. He's been playing through a groin injury. This will open up Chuba Hubbard, who also has not looked fantastic. So just
the whole Panthers team has not looked fantastic.
Well, that's true. And I'm happy for that, by the way. I really am.
I'm sure you are. I mean, I'm also rooting for my own team that I ever look fantastic, but here we are.
Can't wait for Sunday. We get to root duel for losses. That was a arm punt of an interception, but there's a flag.
It's going to be funny. I'm going to be rooting for Justin Fields to DJ Moore over our beat up secondary.
Yeah.
And hopefully Addison is actually healthy, because that game is a sneaky shootout, but more on that later.
Yeah, no, I've got it flagged as such. More on that later. Saquon Barkley practicing, trending towards playing. They could really use him, but he could also find himself on the move before the end of the month. More on that later. Daniel Jones not practicing with a neck injury. Tyrod Taylor is likely in line to start. Khalil Herbert missing multiple weeks with an ankle injury, while Roshan Johnson still missing time with a concussion. That means Deonta Foreman's in line to start. Foreman probably an RB2 this week.
Because it's getting that bad.
And I heard that Travis Swimmer and the other guy's not going to play either. Like it looks like it's going to be Deonta Foreman and a practice squad guy.
Which I don't even know who their practice squad running back is.
I thought they had
somebody.
No, it's I think it might be the rookie from last year that they didn't.
Ebner?
Tristan Ebner. Yeah.
Tristan Ebner?
Yeah.
Let me look. Because it very well could be Ebner. Well, they got a second fullback, because you got to have a second fullback.
I mean, you gotta.
No.
You have to.
Ebner. Nope, Darrington Evans.
He's healthy?
Yeah.
Good for him.
And on the roster, so it'll be Foreman and Darrington Evans, which is probably better than Kari Blasingame taking.
Dude, we're about to get like 85. We're about to get like 85, 90 pass attempts from these teams, because ain't no one running the fucking football.
That's probably Fields.
True.
That's probably
he'll be the only one. It's gonna be him and Madison.
Foreman will get some run. Foreman's been good in pinch hit duty. I'm not worried about that, but
he'll be fine. He'll get a lot of run.
He's got 3 down capability, so I'm all for him. I picked him up in one of my leagues. People gave me shit because I was like if Roshan Johnson's available, get him. But Deontay Foreman, if he's there and you need a running back,
not even practicing. He's not going to
spend up. I told people to spend up on him. Like, oh my god, I can't believe you say spend up. What a waste. I'm like, well, if you need a running back, a win's a win. And we need him right now.
And I'm a firm believer that Roshan's role is Roshan's role. If Herbert's down, Foreman's his direct backup. I think Roshan's role is just Roshan's role.
Yeah,
personally, you don't sign Foreman for him to not be at least cuffing like that.
I mean, he hasn't played since week 1, so
he's been hurt.
Yeah.
He has? I've been here, like he's been healthy scratches since like week 2, I thought.
Thought he was hurt. Let me double check that.
We're talking about Roshan?
No,
we're talking about
Foreman.
Foreman.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, he was healthy and active last week.
I think he's been healthy and active since week 2. He played week 1.
And maybe so, but you don't.
Yeah.
Maybe they just
no. Yeah.
didn't need him if. Yeah, he was healthy and active. Maybe they just didn't need him with Herbert going. He doesn't play special teams. That's what Homer's there for, special teams. So
True.
You're going to have him active, and if Roshan's going to be active and Herbert's going to be active, then you're going to deactivate the back that doesn't play special teams, and now you need him. So
yep,
he'll be fine. He'll
be fine.
He's been in that situation before and shown out. So I think he's an RB2 this week for sure, especially in this matchup.
Oh yeah, I like it.
Miami plays Devin Achane on IR with a knee injury. While Jeff Wilson is likely to return this week. So Carousel backs in Miami. Mostert right back into some prominence. But Jeff Wilson should be rostered right now.
Bro, Jeff Wilson's going 2 tutties on like 20 yards.
Yeah.
Calling it now.
No, you're
every
right.
week, every game he comes into randomly, 2 fucking touchdowns.
Yep.
Live, I'm telling you, right? I'm telling to our 62 listeners.
We got 2 on right
money
now.
Down. Put money on 2+.
You're one of them.
Touchdowns for Jeff Wilson.
And Dan's probably the other one.
Hold on, Dan's that one. Dan's that one.
No, we have 2 real people outside of us.
Nice.
These aren't my alter egos.
I have real people. Anthony Richardson placed on IR, shoulder injury. It's a C joint. Gardner Minshew is going to start. One of the better backups in the league. So it's actually probably a little bit of a bump for Colts receivers. Be interesting to see, particularly tight ends, what happens there. Jonathan Taylor is also expected to be ramped up. So the offense will definitely look different. Minshew is not going to rush, as we've seen, nearly in the way that Richardson would. So expect more of a pocket passer role, but it's actually decent news for the wide receiver bunch.
Yeah, it's going to be gunslinging it now. So now I have to worry about the Anthony Richardson stealing rushing touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor should be coming back with this, and this should really benefit Michael Pittman and Josh Downs.
I agree. And I'm really thinking that you're going to see one of those tight ends hit streamer status, at least until Richardson's back too. I don't know if it'll be Granson or who, but I think you'll see one of them.
Hope so. Because the way that what they're saying with this injury, it's going to be minimum 4 weeks. I've heard as little as 6, but as most as 8.
Yeah. I mean, AC joints a lot of times are about pain tolerance, really, but the mobility portion of it as well. That's why sometimes you see people play through them. Sometimes you see them miss 4 to 6 weeks, and it really just depends.
I mean, it sounds like, he's missing that time frame, and now there's reports that it could be, if he needs surgery, he's obviously going to be out for 8+ weeks, and could be, the end of season. And if the Colts are not in playoff contention by the time he could be coming back, they'll let him sit the rest of the year more than likely.
And he was injured in college too, wasn't he?
I can't say.
Or is he just benched a good amount?
No, he was borderline benched almost a good amount, but never did.
Now he's just lighting up the fantasy points in the 2.5 games he's played.
Yep. Thigh, hamstring strain, meniscus tear, concussion.
This is why I have a hard time. This is why I had a hard time drafting Anthony Richardson in Superflex, because of knowing this could happen.
2021, he had hamstring strain, a meniscus tear, and concussion. All within several weeks of each other, and that's what you worry about with that style of play, right? And we've seen with Jackson that's been a little bit of a concern, not so much with Fields, thankfully, yet. But hey, now with Richardson, you've got a start like that, and you just this is what you worry about, right? Is
I mean, for Lamar, it was his last injury was from in the pocket. And his first one was on a slide. Again, I really hate the notion that mobile quarterbacks have these freak lawn injuries more. They make it hurt, and
I think contact
hurt a little bit more, but non-contact's non-contact. Like
contact wears your body down, though.
Yeah.
So I mean, what's the cumulative effect of all the contact that they're taking? Even if the play that leads to the injury is ultimately non-contact,
it's them needing to protect their bodies more. It's them needing to slide more. It's them needing to duck out of bounds. It's taking cues from Mahomes.
It's being smart. You can use the athleticism, but play smart. And that's what I mean by you worry about that style. I don't mean running quarterbacks. I mean quarterbacks that don't shy away from contact.
Yeah. As Mahomes dives head first to the middle of the field.
Because they take a solid amount of contact in the pocket anyway. Yeah.
They do. It's just unfortunate, for Rich, it's going to be.
Yeah. And
I don't think he's going to play for most of the year. I think this is longer than 4 weeks, 6 weeks for sure.
Yeah, and you just hope that he can shake the early injury bugs that he's had, and
yeah,
he'll
be told to side. Just protect yourself. Buddy. Don't be Cam Newton.
Shown to be excessively talented, but yeah, he's going to have to learn to protect himself a little bit more.
Yep.
Cardinals placed James Conner on IR. Speaking of positions that take a lot of contact, people that run footballs. Amare DeMarcado is going to take lead back duties. So, don't know a lot about him.
Keontae Ingram is still listed as the starter, whatever that's worth.
DeMarcado, yeah.
This is what they listed. Yeah, this is what they listed it.
It's going to be a hot
yesterday.
Hand. It's going to be a hot hand approach. Let's be clear.
Yeah,
but Ingram has a neck injury. That's the reason why he was out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean he hasn't played for a couple games.
I want it
supposed to be back this week.
I want to see Ingram get a shot, but
same here.
Mercado got, because Ingram was out last week, got the carries. They'll go a hot hand approach, and thing is, everyone's going to run out and grab DeMarcado, so go grab Ingram if you got a turn spot.
He's the one that probably got dropped for said running back.
Yep. And he's a guy that we really liked. He was in the same tier as Rachaad White for a lot of us, and it's just White landed in a starting gig this year.
Yeah, and also got draft capital.
Yep. Where was I? Austin Eckler back at practice after a multi-week absence. That was pretty expected after the bye week. Minnesota placed wide receiver Justin Jefferson on IR with a hamstring injury. Addison will be healthy, but fire up your KJ Osborns.
And your Addisons.
Sneaky deep league ad is Brandon Powell.
Yeah. Fire
6
up
targets,
your
4
KJ
catches.
Osborns.
Dude, Osborne has been dog shit. But yes, fire up your KJ Osborns.
Yeah.
I touted him, and he has looked terrible.
Yeah, but he's been good when he's been forced to take more of a role, like he had to for Thielen last year. So
I mean, he's been the number 2 all year. Like it's more so. I think he'll have his production for fantasy, which is obviously what this show's about.
Especially
as a Vikings fan,
Bears.
it's been it's been very frustrating to watch him. Like he had the game tying touchdown against the Chiefs, and he ducked his head because he turned his body around a half a second too late, and he got scared of the football coming at his hands.
The Bears.
That's the type of shit we're dealing with right now with them.
He's playing the Bears though, who I'm pretty sure is starting at cornerback, the guy that served me my bagel last week at Panera. So
could have been.
You know what? He might be pretty good against KJ. Just put your hands on him at the line.
The bagel guy.
Just give him a hot, fresh bagel. He'll get distracted.
Look him in the eyes and say, "I need some smear on this, please."
Look him in the eyes. I am the captain now.
Actually, now I want to
go. Woo. Look up who.
KJ.
Oh, okay.
9 targets last week.
He's been getting a lot of targets. He just hasn't turned them into a lot of catches, a lot of yards.
He had 6 the first 2 games, then he got nothing, but he had 9 last week. Couple touchdowns. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah. He has his spared moments. I have him in a lot of lineups this week because he's going to be thrusted back into an 85% snap share role, run a bunch of routes in a game that I think is going to be high scoring.
Couple big games last year under those scenarios, including one against Chicago. So
yep.
I like him a lot this week. He's a week to week, obviously. You're not going to plug him in and start him every week, but this week is a start.
He's going for 2 touchdowns now.
Yeah.
Who, Addison?
Hopper's guy. No. Osborne. Osborne's going for 2 tutties now.
You're kidding me. My guys have not traditionally done well. Well, I'm about 50-50. I called Jonnu Smith when they played in London. That ended up pretty well. I called Zach Wilson last week, who did have his best game of the year, but not necessarily super fantasy relevant. So,
yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see.
Rams traded Van Jefferson to the Falcons and swap of late round picks.
I think the ham sandwich that should have been involved in this deal would have had more value.
Yeah, they're like, oh look, we can Desmond can throw the ball and we can actually get positive yardage.
Where are you going to put Van? You have
the bench.
London and Holland's outside the benches, right? Yeah. They don't even throw to London. They Pitts had his best game of his career, it felt like last week.
They got Jonnu at tight end.
Yeah.
He's a more traditional end line. At least Pitts they use properly.
Yeah, but they throw to him.
It's Arthur Smith.
Did you say that Pitts had his best game of the year last week? It was 3 targets, 2 receptions, and 44 yards.
Okay. It must have been 2 weeks ago then. He had like a 8 target, 7 catch game.
He had 9 targets for 41 yards 2 games ago. He had 7 for 87 was week. Oh no, I'm looking at this backwards. Never mind. That was last week.
I was going to say that was last week.
Yeah, I'm looking at it backwards. I forget this goes bottom to top. That was last week.
I'm not.
But didn't Jonnu Smith also have a big game last week?
Yes.
Yeah. And he had 3 big games.
I thought his was like 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
Jonnu's?
I started.
Yeah, I thought Jonnu's.
Jonnu's
probably had a.
He's been good the last few weeks. Jonnu last week was 6 or 7 for 67.
I hate Arthur Smith.
They're both tight end ones.
So fucking annoying.
Jonnu has no touchdowns.
He's gonna trade. He's gonna trade for Derrick Henry. I don't think Kyle Pitts has any touchdowns.
No, I think he has one.
Neither of
no
the
one on that team.
No, neither.
Drake London. Drake London
has
one, I think.
Bijan Robinson.
And you said they don't throw to London. He's had 6 or more targets every game.
Besides, I think week one was the donuts. Yeah, I think week one was the donut.
He had.
Just be prepared. He's going to trade for Derrick Henry. Arthur Smith is going to get back his boy.
6 and 9 for 78 yards last week for London.
It was Desmond Ritter's best game of his career last week.
Yeah, his first 300-yard game.
You can build on that.
It's going to be great when Atlanta trades for Kirk Cousins and Ritter goes right back to the bench.
They've got a solid matchup this week too. They'll be fine.
Sure.
They'll be fine.
They'll be fine.
Atlanta's doing exactly what I used to complain about the Titans doing and just winning.
Dude, I mean, it's Arthur Smith. That's why it's literally the same fucking head coach.
And he's winning ugly.
He is winning ugly.
Yeah, and that's what the Titans used to do, and it would piss me off so badly because I'm like, this team should not be winning football.
At least they were, but at least Tannehill was ultra efficient. They use AJ Brown kind of.
Buddy, I am talking pre-Tannehill.
Oh, so this is the Mariota days.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's right. When they had DeMarco Murray.
Yes.
And they wouldn't even use Derrick Henry.
Yep.
When they gave Deion Lewis more snaps and touches over him.
Yep, and they were somehow a playoff team?
I don't think. Oh, that's right, because they won a playoff game. It was against the Chiefs, right? It was a tip pass.
Yeah.
Back to Mariota.
The Alex Smith Chiefs.
Yeah.
It was year 1 for us. I hated it. Hated every bit of it. All right, let's talk trade deadline because that's coming up in 2 weeks. So
crazy.
Who needs what? Who's available? Et cetera, et cetera. We're going to start seeing rumors about this, and we started to see some of these pop up already this week, especially at Denver, who's playing right now. They're down 13-0. They lose tonight. You could be looking at them as sellers, and Jerry Jeudy is a prime name that is mentioned, as well as Frank Clark, but going to try to keep this offensive focus. So there are teams that need wide receivers. I think that there's no argument to that. There's teams in the playoff hunt that need wide receivers, and you're kind of an early berth, but a lot of teams could use Jerry Jeudy. And Dan, back to your point, the first team that came to mind that needs wide receiver help is the Chiefs. But if there's any chance of an extension, I think teams are less willing to trade within their division. And yes, this is baseball mentality. We are seeing the NFL trade deadline start to play more like the MLB trade deadline though as well. And it really comes down to what are the odds that player gets extended, because if you're trading away a talented player, not just trying to recoup draft capital, but you're trading away somebody that's talented versus them walking in the offseason for nothing, you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you're playing against that player multiple times a year is the logic behind that. And again, a lot of that's based on MLB logic where, the trade deadline's in July, but you don't want to be caught playing against a guy that has value. The idea of trading players on expiring contracts is you want to get something before they walk. It's not like a Chase Claypool situation where I'm done with this guy. I'm just trying to get him for nothing, get something from him. That's the type of trade I think you would see in division. Is just give me something, and I don't care where he goes. I just want something back for this guy. I don't think that's where the Broncos are with Jeudy.
Okay, so you don't, because Jeudy hasn't. He's flashed very little. He's flashed. He's had his 100-yard games. He's had his 2-game stretches, I think. But he's woefully underperformed, obviously, due to injuries. He hasn't been on the field a lot, but availability is very important, especially a player that's going into his fifth year and looking for that said pay. But I don't think he's going to the Chiefs, and not because of the interdivision. I don't think the Chiefs, I don't think he's as good as what his profile is, and I don't know if he gets on the field immediately. The team that comes to mind for me would be maybe Dallas to pair up with Lamb. And
because Brandon Cooks hasn't really taken off, and they haven't really had anybody.
They don't even use Brandon Cooks there. There's a lot of dysfunctionality with Dallas. Maybe the most popular response has been Carolina, and then the Steve Smith video came out during pregame, him basically dog shitting the crap out of Jeudy, and he's telling people who were calling about him to not trade for him. Very weird energy.
Very weird energy from Steve Smith, but
it's very weird.
Yeah, the Carolina, I think they want somebody to pair with Bryce Young. They said they wanted a number one type of receiver to do that. He's on an expiring contract. He could go there and potentially end up with an extension. So I do, I definitely do see a world where that could make sense. And I think what it is, you look at the teams that are in playoff contention and you're like, okay, yeah, offensively, a lot of these teams don't really need a lot. So,
I can see maybe Green Bay too.
That team needs more than just a wide receiver. They need.
I don't think it's going to cost that much to get Jeudy in this case, though, right? The Broncos don't have much leverage at this point.
No,
I wouldn't want him in Green Bay. I mean,
I would. I don't think Judy's very good anymore, so I'll be happy.
I don't think Jordan Love's good.
Well, I mean, that's perfect.
No, I don't either. But if you're Green Bay, I don't think you're giving up draft picks for that.
No,
they have a bevy of young receivers that they could maybe flip off of to get Jeudy in return. I mean, again, former first round pick. We may mock it. 4 years now down the line, he hasn't done much, but the NFL still, covets those first round picks. I mean, Laquan Treadwell will still pop up. N'Keal Harry still pops up.
Yeah, I mean, looking up and down. Even just the standings right now, right? There's not a lot of teams that have glaring offensive needs. It's a buyer's market because there's not a lot of competition, right? I mean, the Bills have long been in the market for an upgrade at wide receiver too, so maybe them. But
he's not an upgrade. He's not an upgrade over Gabe Davis. It's only positive to say.
And I only said that so you'd say something positive about Gabe Davis. So thank you for taking the bait.
You fell in my trap. You activated my trap card.
The wide receiver isn't the Jets' problem. They're pushing this year. The Dolphins have no need. The Chargers, maybe. But
I was gonna say with
interdivision, so same thing. Like, if I'm staying away from that, Ravens probably not. Steelers probably not. Jags, no. They're deep enough. Colts are deep enough. Houston and Tennessee don't.
Maybe Bengals if Higgins is going to miss extended time.
Higgins is just a rib injury though, so I don't see him missing extended time.
That's true.
Eagles don't need one. You mentioned the Cowboys, sure. Commanders, I don't know if they're super pushing this year or not. I think it would be a mistake.
They don't even use their top guys now. Fuck,
No.
it's
Seahawks
a
don't
nightmare to watch.
Seahawks don't need one. Niners don't need one. Rams don't need one. Lions don't really need one, but maybe.
No, they don't need them.
Packers, they're 2-3. Do they see themselves as contenders? Maybe. Bucks don't need him. Falcons are 3-2, but they just made a move for a wide receiver, and they already don't play that style. Saints, yeah. I mean, there's just not.
And, just given his cost, he could literally I think he'll get moved.
He could go anywhere
for day 3 picks. He could go anywhere at that point.
And he could go anywhere for day 3 picks just for a team to get a look and see if they want to sign.
Yeah. Like you can see there's like that enough opens up the doors. I think he'll be traded for cheap. Maybe 2 day 3 picks. 24, 25. Conditionals involved. Maybe one of them turns into a third, but yeah, I think he'll be moved. It's just it's going to be some team that maybe we're not even thinking of too.
Yep.
He's going to Minnesota.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they need.
Yeah, they need more receivers.
Jets are apparently in the market to move Mecole Hardman. I don't see anybody buying that other than a depth. One of these 6
Go
or 7
back to Kansas.
One of these pick swaps like we just saw for Claypool and Van.
The Chiefs only want him because they already have enough Mecole Hardmans on that team already.
Yeah, Chiefs need
they're better off just cutting them.
Chiefs need somebody that can make a difference, and I have some ideas there. Panthers are going to be in the market for the wide receiver, but yeah, I really think that if somebody trades for Judy, especially on the cheap, it's probably them.
It'd make the most sense, right? Like if they feel like they can extract value. I don't think Judy never played with Bryce Young, did he? It was Mac Jones, right? Yes, that's right.
Hurts too, right?
Hurts.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hurts Tua and Mac.
That sounds right. Yeah, that does sound right.
Yep.
Has to.
Yep. He missed.
I don't even play. No, I don't think he played with Mac Jones. Unless Mac, came in for a couple series because Max was the starter in 2021, so he wouldn't have played like any significant time. But either way, like maybe, that would be the most logical move for him.
Yeah, you're right.
The running backs are the ones where I think excitement could happen.
It was Hurts and Tua, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
because Judy was there 17 through 19.
20. Yeah, he played 17 through 2020.
No, 17 through the 2019 season, which started in 19, and 2020 would have been his draft class.
2020, yeah, you're right.
So, Mac Jones,
he was on the team.
He played 12 games in 2019, 141 attempts. That was the year that Tua blew up his ankle.
Okay.
Is what happened. So that was the year Tua blew up his ankle. That's why. So he did have some time with Mac. And Patriots could be, right? The Patriots are another option here. Apparently Kraft read a report today that he's pretty pissed off about their unwillingness to invest in picks into wide receiver talent, and that worked with Brady, but it's not working with Mac Jones. And if they want to try to salvage anything, maybe they do play on that.
I'm just reveling in New England's collapse. I'm sorry. I
Belichick gets canned this year if
He's totally. I think.
You think so?
I think he is. I absolutely think he's.
I don't think
he
I
retires.
don't think they'll can. Yeah, exactly. I think he retires. I don't think they'll can him.
Okay,
dude.
so
I hope
let me
Robert
rephrase.
Kraft has the balls to fire him. It'd be
They
great.
miss the playoffs. He's not coming back, whether that's on his own accord or not. I think that's a conversation with Kraft. You can retire, you can resign, or I'm gonna fire you,
or we're gonna fucking promote one of your sons to take your job.
Yeah, and I think we got. I think
just to keep the name.
Yep, and I think we got the answer of was it Brady or was it Belichick that was responsible for all that?
It's looking like Brady.
Sounds like Brady. My money's on Brady.
Yeah,
money.
As
money's
is probably
on Cam Newton.
Majority of America's.
So, yeah, Hardman would be a pick swap. Judy, Panthers or Patriots. I think you just talked me into the Patriots being in play there too. Some other guys that are available, though, that are on expiring deals that could make sense. We'll talk about the running back market here in a second. Curtis Samuel's on an expiring deal. If somebody wanted to add a bit of depth for the long haul, he seems like a type of player the Chiefs would like, honestly.
Do you think Washington's selling? Oh,
well,
right now?
I don't know. And that's
and he's been their most go-to player the last couple weeks too.
Might depend on what happens for Washington over the next 2 weeks, right?
Fair.
Yeah, over the next 2 Sundays, it might depend on what happens for them because the Bears just put them in a hole, and if they lose the next couple games, then they probably will be. And they don't have Hal's been fine, but you don't have high investments in really anybody there. So,
true.
That's true.
It depends.
That's a fair point.
Antonio Gibson's another one there that I think could be on the move. He could be on the move.
They hate him.
He could be on the move even regardless. Gibson.
I mean, yeah. I don't think Rivera has ever. I mean, he's claimed to like him, but I don't think he's ever really.
Well, and then it becomes what's the market for running backs though? Amongst that same grouping of teams, right?
I mean, you got Derrick Henry's usage this year suggests he's definitely gonna you would think he gets moved if Tennessee keeps losing.
Yeah,
you mentioned Barkley.
He's on a 1-year deal. The Giants aren't going anywhere. He would be probably the hottest commodity of the Steelers or somebody that could really want to upgrade in that regard, given how they prefer to play football.
Josh Jacobs, right? He didn't sign an extension, did he? Or
no, Jacobs didn't sign an extension. He signed a 1-year deal a lot like Barkley did. But the thing with the Raiders is that there was a report on them today that says that they're going to bear down and try to push to make a run at a wild card spot. So
that's so.
They've already declared themselves as not.
Hey, why not?
Okay, this is how bad teams say bad. Perfect.
Yep.
I love
buyers.
It is.
Yeah,
but
they're false buyers.
The Steelers are somebody that I think could be in on a Barkley rental, given what they've had going on at running back. Ravens, of course, are always in running back peril. It seems like.
I know.
It's
rough
for either one.
The Raiders are just gambling on themselves.
And that's really
they're gonna trade for Judy.
Yeah, and that's really for either one of those guys, running back wise, and then I don't know what the Browns want to do.
I mean, you got if you want to look for maybe cheaper options, not just a big running back names, Delvin Cook.
Yeah,
the Jets don't use him. Breece Hall looked fucking dominant last week against the Broncos, but still.
But Delvin Cook looks cooked. I don't see why teams would really want him.
Teams are obsessed with previous dominance. Adrian Peterson when he was
but why trade for somebody when you can just go sign Leonard Fournette if you're looking for previous dominance?
Exactly. Yeah.
Why hasn't he been signed at this point? If it's going to be Fournette, it would have happened at point. Melvin Gordon had multiple chances over Fournette at this point.
Not late enough in the season. And I'm not just talking about the Ravens. I'm talking about anybody that might be in the market.
I know. I'm just saying,
for veteran depth that might still have something left in the tank. That's Fournette. But I mean, teams might be waiting a little bit to see where it fall ends. I think you're going to see a lot of crap unfold over the next 2 weeks. Because the thing with Fournette also is that you can sign him after the trade deadline. That doesn't matter. You can't get a good price on somebody. Maybe Fournette's your backup plan. Let's say that the Steelers do want to make a run at Saquon to try for a playoff spot, or you know, one of these other running back needy teams.
James Conner.
Like the Ravens. Yeah, James Conner would be an option. He's hurt right now and on IR, so I don't know how that plays into it because his IR stint will go over the trade deadline.
I mean,
I don't know. I don't even know if you can trade a player on IR in the NFL. I have no idea.
That's what happens when you.
These guys are so fantasy guys.
It just seems like week 6 was a week to put everyone on IR. Like, oh, the NFL, like, yeah, we're just gonna put Justin Jefferson on IR, James Conner.
Yeah.
If the Vikings were 1-4, if the Vikings had a 500 record, I mean, if the Vikings were 3-2 or better, I don't think they put Jefferson on IR. This is purely. It makes no sense to rush him at all.
And the rumor I read too was that I guess someone saw Jefferson running. He ran sprint just fine. So
that's right. That account is false.
Yeah.
All that fucking dude is lot. No, he's been jogging. Sure. Again,
that's what I figured. I'm like, well, why would they put him on IR if he can sprint? Like that makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
So
I think the IR move is because they're 1-4 and there's no need to
rush him or
there's no need to rush him back and risk. Because what do you?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So.
Yep. So outside of the running backs, Hollywood Brown's on an expiring deal. You mentioned Connor, but Hollywood in Arizona's on an expiring deal. He's another guy I think that just completely fits the Chiefs mold.
I hope he gets traded, but I also kind of hope he stays because he's looked good. Become more of
exactly.
He's been good. Like if I'm the Cardinals, I may try to keep him and convince him that it's either going to be Kyler Murray or B, like Caleb Williams or Drake May with them there. Like I hope they retain him.
And they could. And he's looked.
They should retain him.
Really, really good. But again, Chiefs
you know a team. You know where he like really fit in well at?
Chiefs.
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Yeah. I was gonna. No, really. Kansas City for him is a wet dream.
Oh yeah. I mean, in 3 of his 5 games. Or no, yeah, 3 of his 5 games. He had 10 targets
for a receiver. I don't think the Chiefs are paying up for as much as we want to have the wet dream about wide receiver to Kansas City. I don't see it happening.
I don't see them just relying on the guys that they have, and whether that's through, I don't know if there's any veterans still out there, or whether that's through a lower end deal. I don't think they're going to stand pat at wide receiver, given that Rashee Rice, Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, none of them have taken off. You can't just rely on Travis Kelce. We said that about every year, and it somehow works. But I mean, Juju was better than the production they're getting this year.
And then they let him walk because of Sky Moore, because of the draft investments. They traded for Toney, 3rd-round pick. They used a second and more. They used a second this year on Rice. And that's why I think they won't trade. I think they don't want to invest any capital. They may trade for somebody, a couple day 3 picks or something.
DJ Chark on an expiring deal, day 3 pick.
He can be the MVS replacement that also doesn't play ever.
Yeah.
Trade for Adam Thielen. There you go.
Adam Thielen's another one that. Well, Adam Thielen's on a 2-year deal.
He's on a long distance.
He is on 2 years.
He might be there for a minute, but I'm trying to think of who else is on short-term expiring deals. I mean,
what about the guys that are like we talked about it? What about, and I don't think this will be true, but Higgins, if Cincinnati's not planning to retain him, he's a free agent after this year, and then Michael Pittman. So the Colts don't have a plan, a future to retain Pittman.
Pittman, I think, could fetch the Colts some decent draft capital, which they desperately need, and could absolutely be on the move to somewhere. And again, I think this becomes really our team's going to get what they want, given the lack of wide receiver needy teams in the league. I mean, it's really Kansas City, and I guess maybe you can make an argument for Pittsburgh being the teams that are in playoff contention. They really need to do something to solidify the wide receiver position.
Maybe the Chiefs trade for Bateman and he can finally be unlocked.
There's another one. I mean, there's a lot of.
Well, that'd be a cheap one too. That'd be a very
that's what I'm saying. I don't think Baltimore will. But
it'd be a late round pick. Well, he's injured. I mean, you're not going to get much for him. It could be like a 5th round pick.
I say this and knock on wood, it doesn't happen. Somebody's going to tear an ACL this week and completely put themselves in this conversation too.
Minnesota's trading for a receiver. I'm calling it just to piss me off.
The Chargers, the Chargers, and the Chiefs. Those are the two teams I could see making a run at wide receiver help. I think the Chargers need somebody that can field stretch a bit. They don't have to be the guy because of Keenan Allen, but I do think they need somebody that can field stretch.
Did anything come of the Dalton
Johnson?
Did anything come of Dalton Kincaid getting hurt in Buffalo's game?
He's concussed.
Yeah, Dawson Knox, but I think Dawson Knox has like a hand injury or something like that now.
Yeah, because I wouldn't be shocked too if Buffalo does also do like what the Chiefs do, right? It make more of a quiet
move, quiet deep move, and
yeah,
I could see
that won't really move the needle, but like it's I guess we'll see because the deadline's in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
Is DPJ?
He was at 2021.
Okay, so he's still got 2 years left.
This is his 3rd year, so next year will be his final year.
Because that's another one that's intriguing to me that's kind of gotten buried that proved that he can be reliable.
He just needs to leave Cleveland.
He needs to get out of there, yep.
He needs to be like Nico and be unlocked in a team that wants to use him properly.
Yep. I agree. The other side here is quarterback, right? Teams that want to insulate or do something with it, and you've got some premium tier backups out there. I listed Taylor Heineke and Andy Dalton, but and I'm really talking about the Jets when I talk quarterback. Like, if they want to do something affordable, if Zach Wilson regresses or doesn't continue to progress, if they want to bring somebody else in, they're the one team I think that's really in quarterback land right now. And that's literally not because of their record. That's because they went all in on this season, and I don't think they want to sacrifice that.
They're like I am still shocked they did nothing to address it after week 1. Like, for a team that, like you mentioned, it's like made it very clear that they wanted to contend. Yes, with Rodgers, but they wanted to contend.
Right.
And they've made no news. They made no waves. And I don't know what they're gonna do. I like maybe they're gonna maybe Solid knows they're gonna give him a pass because Rodgers is likely done for the year. But they're talking about him coming back at the end of the season. But if that was the case, that makes more sense to why you would want to leave. Or why you would want to bring somebody in, right?
Because Zach Wilson's not gonna, if Rodgers thinks he can be back by the end of the year, you need to make sure you're in playoff contention or at least close. And I don't know that Zach Wilson gets you there.
He's definitely not a for sure to get you there. What we do know is that the Kirk Cousins pipe dream is not going to happen. People need to realize that.
They can't afford it.
I never seen it too either because he had his no trade clause, and it's like, why would he want to leave anyway?
Can be waived. He can waive it, and I think he will because he's a business person. Like, he understands that this is a business. I think it's more so he doesn't want to leave because he doesn't want to pull his kids out, and I think he absolutely loves Minnesota. And in what world? Like, I've been thinking about this. Someone of Cousins' stature as a quarterback. Have you ever seen a quarterback be moved of his stature in midseason? Ever?
Tannehill is the only one that comes to mind that was moved midseason that's had any success, or Ryan Tannehill. And he's the only one that's had any.
And he wasn't on Cousins' level.
That was already a starter that's been moved midseason that's had success that I can think of is Ryan Tannehill. I was just thinking about that. And
that was after
Wilson
maybe week picked. 1? Yeah, he got picked.
No, it was a deadline deal. I'm fairly certain.
Was it a deadline deal?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, good.
He got moved at a deadline deal, but that, that's really it. And he was league average, right? He was slightly better than league average, and they went to Tennessee and put on a clinic. But Tannehill's the only one that comes to mind. I can't recall anybody else in recent memory that was a midseason trade at quarterback that made a difference. And I would imagine that's because there's so many nuances to the offense that the quarterback has to be ingrained in that unless you already have familiarity. Why? Or you can take a couple weeks to get somebody up to speed.
I mean, like, what we could see is what the Rams did with Baker, right? You just, when they signed Baker after he got cut, is you dumb down the playbook. You call plays that, like, you're not going to get super aggressive with. It's all about maybe bye weeks. Like, Atlanta still comes to mind because of ties from his wife's standpoint. They may want to make a move from that decision.
Cousins.
Yeah, I just like Cousins was and has been a very good quarterback the last 3 years. Tannehill was on the downslope and injured. But you're right. He's the only quarterback of note that could even come close to fitting those guidelines. Mm-hmm. And I just don't see it happening.
No, I don't either. No. Remember, the Rams ending up with Baker was out of necessity after Stafford went down and Wolford got his bell rung.
Yeah, like they needed somebody.
They had to have somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Baker Mayfield. How did I forget that one?
Revived his career.
I thought he was cut. Did he get traded?
No, he was cut. I think he was cut.
He was wavered. The Rams picked him up through waivers.
They did, but
what it was?
But the Rams did that because Stafford was
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
that's what I meant. The Rams did that out of pure
and that's
necessity.
why I brought that up. Yeah, and that's why I brought it up to where if, let's say, Cousins in a world does get traded, I think you can say that he could play the week he gets moved. Probably wouldn't unless it's a bye week, which would be the most sense. But if he does, I think you just probably dumb the playbook down and then ease him in as he learns it, or just ease in more of the plays.
College to quarterback thing.
I mean, he goes to Atlanta. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, he goes to Atlanta. They're just handing the football off anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I was going to say Minshew before Nayrich got hurt. I think I would have had a lot of fun to see him go to New York.
It would have been. Because I think he's a guy that can actually handle the limelight. I was talking with a bartender the other day about how New York just ruins athletes.
Dude, it's a ridiculously difficult market to. I mean, I'm shocked Eli Manning was able to survive as long as he did there. Like,
yeah, it's a
Zach Wilson should have never. It was obvious. Zach Wilson from fucking play for BYU, Mormon College. Like, the dude looked too pretty to play in New York.
Exactly the point that she was making was that Zach Wilson, won West Coast versus East Coast style football, right? That's still a thing, but just didn't fit the New York mold, and he got eaten alive. And there's a lot of people that do get eaten alive. I mean, look at the people the Yankees bring in that just get swallowed by the expectations.
It's not. I mean, it's a whole different, like, any of those major markets.
Well,
New York and like Philly,
but Chicago's a major market, right? And I feel like those expectations don't follow there because they just suck always.
It's Midwest, baby. It's just the Midwest. People are too friendly.
But
yeah, West Coast are too stoned to care about it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, New York is a different beast than Chicago and Los Angeles, and those are arguably the three biggest markets in America.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Don't forget about Detroit.
Detroit.
Detroit. That was a good one.
Was a good one. Wilson's been picked twice and has 56 total yards. I'm not.
I can't wait for him.
I would have been better off playing Mac Jones.
They another candidate for worst trade ever.
Oh yeah, I was so pumped about that whole trade when Wilson went there. But man, every team's being untouchable, and it's just like, Jesus Christ,
what happened?
It's worse. It's worse than Watson. That dude's confidence got completely shattered.
But it's not only that trade either. It's also the trade for shit. The hell's the coach's name? Sean Payton. Yeah, the trade for Sean Payton.
That was so bad.
That one's so dope. So it's like back-to-back years of like horrible trades.
Who saw that not working out?
Everyone. I didn't see it working out.
Everyone. Nobody saw it working. All right, that was a joke.
John Elway.
Beer review.
People that own Walmart, Mahomes calling his own blocks into McKinnon up to grab a guy.
Love it.
Dan.
Again, I am drinking. Should I just had the name? I think it's BTK. I think I read it wrong. BKS. Sorry, BKS Attorneys Artisan Ale out of Brookside, Missouri. Just one of the suburbs of Kansas City here. Again, this is a European style Pilsner. Floral, little malty, not too much. Obviously, very clean and dry as what a Pilsner is. Very crisp. Very well done. I am excited to give this brewery more and more of taste as I do more work trips down here.
Sounds delicious. I was jealous when you told me what you had. All right, I'm drinking Stubborn German's Chocolate Vanilla Bourbon Stout. This is from their barrel age program, part of their Black Beer Friday releases from last year. I know they do good beers. First off, one thing I like about this is that the barrel doesn't murder the base stout. The base stout does a really, really good job with dark chocolate, some nice roasty notes, and just supporting what's there. You do get the barrel character. It's a little bit warming, but it's not overpowering by any means. The chocolate that's added to this, the cocoa nibs, because I'm assuming that's what he uses, do a really, really good job of helping to support some of that heat, and the body helps really support the alcohol. So it's lightly warming. You do get the barrel character, but what you don't get is any burn or any harshness from it. Vanilla just kind of leaves a nice, subtle, like sweet note on the back end. Hangs out on your lips for a little bit. Definitely drinks at proof. I don't know what proof this is actually, but or proof ABV. This is actually, it's probably in the 12 to 14 range, but in any event, very, very well done. Not that I would expect anything different, but very, very well done. Not a lot else to say. I could put this next to a Bourbon County, and I think I'd prefer this.
I'm not shocked.
Sounds very good, actually.
It's really
Bourbon
good.
County just doesn't hit the same as it used to.
Yeah. Oh, mouthfeel on this one too, by the way. It's not overly syrupy or chewy, but it's definitely not thin. If it were thin, bugles would jump out a lot more. Just kind of nice, like in between. It's very, very full without getting into like that chewy, like I'm drinking syrup type of consistency.
All right, and I am drinking Draft Table's Resolute Indian Pale Ale. It comes in at 7.7%, which is quite high. I'm thinking of an IPA like this because, in all honesty, it's very smooth. I'm already on my second one since we've been going tonight, and the bitterness scale is very low. There's no bitterness. The hop scale isn't. It's good. It's got a nice flavor to it. You get the. So what it says on here, it says a Resolute IPA is our flagship Indian Pale Ale and is named after our founder and head brewer, Rez. It's brewed with a melody of Pacific Northwest hops, exhibiting assertive citrus and pine aroma and flavor, making it a favorite for any hophead. And I do taste the hops in it, and the hops in it are definitely, after like you drink it, you take a sip of it, let it sit for a second, you kind of get that dry taste in your mouth. Does that kind of make sense at all, hop? Like if you with a hoppy beer?
Yeah, no, it does. You get a bittering note out of it, which is a perception of drying.
But yeah, like this bitter note, like the bitterness scale, it says like 1. Like I don't have any bitter to it, but I can feel like the dryness in the back of my mouth where I like want to lick the roof of my mouth, or take another sip of it, which is definitely probably what I think they try to do with this beer because it's definitely
exactly why people do dry beers.
It's definitely a perfect beer for that because it's like I just want to take another sip of it and it's good.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And you don't see, you hold that up, the camera. That's definitely a West Coast. You don't see those that often anymore.
Of the amber, yeah, like this is something. And this is like right up the road from me. It's about 20 minutes away from me where this brewing company is at.
Yeah, West Coast style IPA though. That dark body with the piney hop aroma and hops in it and everything. But yeah. Cool.
Thick head on it.
Yeah. You know, everybody went to Hazy's, so it's kind of cool to see a a microbrewery doing West Coast. All right. Well, thank you to our beer contributors for allowing us to pay for your beer. Actually, I lied. I didn't pay for this beer. It was part of a gift exchange. Or not gift exchange, but
you paid for a
white
beer
elephant.
that was used.
I paid for
traded.
a beer that was used to be traded for a 4-pack of
Yes.
Stubborn German Barrel Aged beer.
Love it.
And the reason it happened is because Chris put them in a happy birthday gift sack, and it was a Christmas party, and I liked the happy birthday sack, and then I pulled them and knew exactly who they were from. Because it's the proprietor of the Stubborn German. All right. Preview real quick. I don't really have anything to highlight for this week, honestly. I wanted to talk trade deadline. Just felt kind of meh to try to force this, so we're not forcing things. Bye weeks are Green Bay and Pittsburgh. My streamer this week is Logan Thomas. He's going to be up against Atlanta. Had a good game against the Bears. Atlanta's allowed double-digit tight end points in PPR for 4 out of the 5 weeks this season. He should be floating around out there for free in a good amount of places. So that's my streamer of the week is Logan Thomas. You guys got anybody
How about
else
Dan?
this week?
That was going to be mine.
Was it?
Ooh.
It's all right, though. We'll go back to we're going to go KJ Osborne, guys.
There you go.
Should be a decently scoring game against Chicago. Good pace of play. Both defenses struggle to stop offenses, while both offenses can easily shoot themselves in the foot by giving the other opposing team good field position. So I think there's a lot of routes to be run, a lot of snaps to be shared. And Osborne fully going to have a couple of drops and laughable moments, but he will find the end zone to spite me. So Osborne, start him this week. Deeper cut, Brandon Powell, again, 6 targets, 4 catches against the Chiefs. Could be used more in a larger role for your deeper cut.
Right.
I'm still looking. I wasn't paying attention. I was trying to hurry up and try and find someone. Hope someone to keep talking longer.
It's all right. We've only been doing the same thing for 6 weeks now.
I really suck at this kind of crap. Not gonna lie.
Oh, good.
Not gonna hide it.
I mean, we don't hide our care
just gonna,
it, so
yeah, I'm just
good.
gonna keep trying to keep talking and make it sound like I actually care.
You'll find somebody
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah,
Pop
exactly.
Up in your mind.
Hide anything. Just take Baker Mayfield against the Lions or Josh Dobbs against the Rams.
All
right,
boom.
Actually, boom. I will do Baker Mayfield against the Lions because I did have him as one of my waiver pickups like 2 weeks ago. So that's an easy one. The Lions have been solid defense, but as of late, they've been falling apart. As you can see, they've been hit with the injury bug. Baker Mayfield has been over 20 fantasy points in 3 of his last 4 games, and I can see it happening again for making it 4 out of 5 now. So definitely fire him up if you actually need a quarterback this week.
All right.
That was too easy. Thanks, Hopper. As soon as you said the name, I knew exactly what to say.
You're welcome.
All
That's
right
what
now.
we're here for. We're a team. We're here to help. All right now.
All right now.
All right.
All right.
I'm buying one. I'm buying one of their shirts. I've been looking.
The new Hyde shirts.
I'm fucking obsessed.
Dude, I am too.
Travis can't do nothing wrong, and I love Jason Kelsey for he went on his whole tangent on their show this week was going off of why he blew up on the sideline, and then how much he hates. Oh my God, what was it? Just how pissed off he is that his offense can't score in the red zone. Just love it. It's amazing.
I love the
plug up a cast that just doesn't need it.
I love the there is an all right now shirt.
All right now.
All right now.
Ooh.
There is an all right now shirt.
Amazing.
New news.
New news. And then
New
God, them explaining
news.
stuff.
Oh yeah, them explaining combo coverages and
bro, I didn't know that was a lot. He asked it was a simple question of
they got into
what
it.
is zone man, and then he went into literally every zone coverage and sub zone coverage.
Oh yeah, what's cover 6 though?
It was cover 2-4.
2 plus 4.
Cover.
It's 2 on this side of the field and 4 on this side of the field, and I'm just kind of like
it was like quarter pie. I was like, Jesus Christ!
It's such a great podcast.
quarter half.
I've learned so much.
I have too. I also learned that they're called the 92%ers because that's how often the tush push works.
Yep, that's their percentage on
Mhm.
tush
The
push.
brotherly push.
I
Yeah.
also looked it up. I'm like, why do they call it is it like a Cleveland Heights thing? Nope.
Nope. 92% of the time it works every time. And then I actually have it on the back where it has the actual play drawn out on it for the tush push.
It's incredible.
It is incredible.
Podcasts ever.
Yeah, I am enjoying the hell out of it. I like how there's only
it's
one on
entertaining.
here that has Chiefs colors, so everything else is Eagles colors.
That's fair.
Except for the one that's
Yeah,
randomly the hoodie that's randomly Dolphins colors for some reason.
Right?
Or
It's a dope color though. I like
Jags colors. I like it too. I think I would probably do the all right now.
it. All right now.
All right now.
All right.
Oh no, the 92%ers also comes in. And the that new Heights hoodie in gray and Eagles green looks pretty nice too. I don't know. I gotta listen to the rest of that episode because I listened to the first half of it when I had to go up my CO2 earlier this week.
Yeah, I got like 30 minutes left to go on it.
I finished it today.
No, I'll probably finish it after we're done with this. Actually,
I'll finish tomorrow morning my drive-in.
Buying fermenters, Dan.
Are you?
Yeah, buying nicer fermenters. Going stainless.
Nice.
Then it's
Very
a great option,
nice.
just not sure what I want. So, I mean, I'm pouring at White Rooster down in Sparta on the 21st.
Even more fun.
Doing a pretzel beer with mustard seed and a Amberana finish porter. So yeah, sure the listeners care. Thank you guys for tuning in. We've been done with this for 5 minutes while we were looking through the new Heights merch.
I'm getting the 92% of every time.
92% of the time it works every time.
Yeah. $72 though for a hoodie. That's ridiculous.
It is a lot, but I like the idea that they're going to start swearing and going on a scholarship fund. But yeah, that's pretty high. It's $36 for a t-shirt.
Yeah. They made a really good material.
Well, they did say they're super comfy, but I'm assuming there's a pretty decent cut going. Maybe.
Yeah.
I bet
Just
if you
maybe.
wait, that'll come down. But I bet they're trying to capitalize on their own popularity right now, too.
They
Because,
Oh, you think?
yeah, I would. You kidding me?
Fuck yeah.
You know how much merch we'd have if we had any listeners? I'm just kidding. We tried t-shirts once. You
Could
know,
you imagine if we would have had
It
had this at
had
the NFL if we had this at the NFL draft, how more like important we would have looked?
We would have actually got media passes. Just kidding.
we could have,
No, we
probably. I mean,
We could have tried.
if we tried hard enough, we could have done a lot of things. But if I'd known about drop shipping when we had listeners, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I learned about nothing lined up, right? I moved down here and started doing the Bourbon Society stuff and learned about e-commerce and drop shipping and doing all that after we actually had a following. They had lost it. So,
Just
Yeah.
saying, we were there once.
one time. There
One
was
time.
about 2 years where it was going really well. And then we decided it was too much work.
the true American way.
Thank you for tuning in. Catch y'all next time.
See ya.
See ya.
Beer Fuel.
All right now.
All right now.
All right now.
All right.